the end of the month. So I'm going to show you a couple of the dies and accessories that are available in the sale, and it's all up to 50% off. So if you're fed up of summer already and you're planning for Christmas and you want to get a jump start on those Christmas cards, make sure to check out this sale because there are some amazing deals to be had during this Christmas in July sale. So today I'm going to be sharing with you this really lovely, really simple but effective card for Christmas, and it's just using a couple of dies and some of our lovely glitter, and even though it's such a simple design, this means that you could whack these out like one after the other, and it would be a great way to send in loads of Christmas cards because it's such a simple design, but it looks like you put loads of effort into it. I'm going to show you how easy it is. Okay, so the dies, well, the main die that I'm going to be using is obviously in our sale. So this one is our Bigz Die, so it's called Oh Christmas Tree, which I think the name is absolutely adorable. And I've chosen to use this die just because I wanted a simple tree, but because it is a Bigz, it could be used with fabrics or thicker cards or cardboard or anything like that. So if you wanted to make other accessories or other gifts other than just cards, Bigz dies are great to have. And then I'm also going to be using this really adorable stamp set, which is the Winter Phrases set, which again is also in the sale. And this is just great to have if you're making cards for Christmas, because you've got all those lovely phrases on there and some extra elements as well. Okay, so to start off, I've got a red cardstock card folded in half, so I've measured this to the size that I want, and then I'm going to be working off of a piece of white cardstock. So I've got that there, so I've got that lovely red border. So I've already cut those down, so I used just a ruler and our scalpel knife, and then I just measured it up just using our cutting mat. So if you are making custom cards and custom shapes, it's great to have those things in your set, because then you can make them any size that you want. So I'm going to pop that onto the back with some foam tape, because I want it all raised, and I've pretty much used, other than attaching a couple of pieces and to adhere the glitter, I've used foam tape for pretty much everything. Just because I find it so super easy and simple to use, but just by adding the foam tape and raising it, it makes such a difference. So I'm going to attach that just to the front, make sure I've got a lovely even border all around the sides. So we've got a base of our card. So now I'm going to move on to that lovely Oh Christmas Tree die set. So that lovely Bigz die, and I've used a colour scheme of pinks and reds. So I've got our hibiscus card, sorry, and we've got our cherry blossom and our primrose card. So I'm going to cut out the smallest Christmas tree, but there is a bigger one. So if you wanted just one statement tree, you could just do that. That's absolutely fine. So I'm going to layer those up. Another great thing about Bigz dies, if you are making several cards, I'm just going to check, there we go, several cards, and you don't have much time, Bigz dies are great because you can cut several things out at once. You don't have to sit there and cut out one piece at a time. Like, I'm going to cut all three of these out. Okay, so I'm going to layer those up. I am using my fold away machine today, just because I don't have a lot of space at home, and I'm sure that maybe if you're just making Christmas cards as a hobby, you probably don't have a lot of space to leave all your equipment out all the time. So foldaways are fantastic because they're just great at saving space. So if it is just something that you do as a side hobby every now and again, you can pack that away. So there you are, you have those 3 Christmas trees. I'm going to put this to one side. I'm just going to show you how easy it is to pack this foldaway away actually. You literally just pull each side out and then put that in. And just sits really nicely all folded up, and then it's not taking up a ton of space in your office, or even if you're doing it in your kitchen or something like that. Okay, so I've got these lovely little Christmas trees, and with the two pink ones I actually cut them up and started to layer them with that foam tape. So I'm going to really gently just draw a couple of lines where I want to cut. And I have left the middle one just as it is, just to show you, but it just gives you an idea of just a different way to change up such a simple shape. So just along those lines, I'm literally just going to cut. So we've got our tree in 3 different parts. There we go. Okay, looks a bit weird now, but I promise you it will all come together. If you have a rubber, just rub out those lines because we don't want to see those. Okay, that's why I do it really, really gently. Okay, and now I'm going to start to arrange my trees. So the middle one I've just left as it is. Again, I'm going to use some foam tape because it is super quick, super easy, and I'm going to do that with the first one. So just 1 layer of foam tape for the first one. Try and make sure he's in the middle. I'm just going to pop those actually either side, just so I know how much room. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that one's down. Now, these 2 pieces here, I'm just going to do, again, 1 layer of foam tape. And stick these down first. I'll peel that off as well. I'm just trying to show you how easy and quick this is. I'm pretty much going to make the cards start to finish all in this video, and sometimes I don't do that because I either don't have the time or it's potentially just too fiddly to do on the video, but this is so quick and easy that, trust me, you won't have any problem replicating this. Okay, so for the middle section, I'm actually going to do 2 layers of foam tape, just to give that dimension. Okay, so you don't need a lot of foam tape at all. Like, this stuff's really sticky, so just use a little bit in each section. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, because this one is slightly higher now with those 2 pieces of foam tape, I'm just going to overlap it ever so slightly and layer it up like so. Now it's really subtle, that layering, but it just works really nice. There you go, you can slowly start to see it. You could even start to swap the colours, so say if you wanted like a 2-tone tree, you could cut them out and swap them. That would look really nice as well, actually. Even on maybe a big tree, you could do a gradient from say light to dark with that sort of cut pattern that you've done. That would work really nicely. Okay, so time for the last piece. So just 1 piece of foam tape on the last piece, and it just slots slightly underneath that middle piece. There we go. Okay, so now we have those lovely trees sitting and waiting for some glitter, I think. So yeah, let's add some glitter. So to do that, I'm going to use some of our sorbet glitter, which is also in the Christmas in July sale. And there's a couple of other glitters in there, so if you're not a fan of the sorbet colour and you want a different colour to go with the colour scheme of your cards, check those out because there's some really beautiful colours. So how I'm going to do this is I'm just going to use some more express glue. I'm just going to put it on my hand just to make sure it's coming out nice and even. And then I'm just going to really, I'm hardly like putting any pressure on the tube. And I'm going to use the glue just to do those patterns. Okay, so I'm going to do, see, if you get quite a lot, don't worry, just sort of dab it away with your finger. That's why you don't want to apply like a lot of pressure. That's why I'm using the back of my hand. It will come off. Yeah, so we've got that glue there, and now I'm just going to do, couple on this side. And you could do all sorts of different patterns. I'm just doing dots and stripes pretty much, but you could go to town and do whatever you want. Okay, so we've got those patterns done. So like I said, just be really gentle with that glue. You don't want to put too much pressure on and get glue all over your card. It is a bit risky, but if you just take your time, it will be worth it, I promise. Okay, so now we're going to do the fun part and sprinkle the glitter on. So just using my funnel tray underneath, I'm just going to add that glitter and just tap off the excess. There we go. And you can see how it's obviously only adhered to the glue. If you find that you get a lot of specks of glitter like I've got on the white, I just take a clean paintbrush and just run it around those areas. You can just give it a bit of a blow to get all that off. But yeah, this clean paintbrush trick is super handy for getting all the glitter off the areas that you don't want it on. Okay, and there we go. Alright, now to add a finishing touch to those lovely little trees, they obviously need a star. Now in that Bigz die, there is a star cut, so you could do it that way, or since these lovely gold sequins, sorry, are also in the sale, I would get your hands on some of these because I'm going to use the stars in those as my tree toppers, but you could also use the other sequins as baubles as well. So you could mix and match with the glitter, or you could just go for the sequins. They're really good to add decoration onto those trees. So just to add these lovely little stars, I'm just going to take the express glue again. I can't even use the bits on my hand actually. So, and just attach those to the top. And just adding that touch of gold, I think just really ties it all together. One more. Your tweezers are going to come in handy with these, so I'm using our curved fine tip tweezers just to pick up these sequins, just because they can be a bit fiddly. Okay, so we've got those lovely stars on there as well, those gold sequins, and finally we're going to add that sentiment. So obviously I'm going to do that with the stamp set, so the Winter Phrases stamp set. And there's so many different phrases in here, so you could use whichever one you want. I'm just going to go for a simple Merry Christmas, I think. So I'm just going to pop that to the front. And I've already cut my piece of card out. So if you are using our cardstock, you'll find that it's textured on one side and smooth on the other. Normally we say put all of your die cuts textured side up, just because it looks nicer, but for printing you want to work on the flat side. So make sure it's on the flat side, and then I'm going to take my stamp and pop it on my stamping block. You can do it without a stamping block, this just makes life a little bit easier. And then I'm just going to pop it into some black ink. Again, if you wanted, you don't necessarily have to use black ink. It could be a really pretty gold colour or a pink or red. whatever works for your card colour scheme. Just make sure it's nice and covered, nice and even. And then I'm going to press that into the centre of my piece of cardstock. Now I measured my cardstock out to the area beforehand, but you could print and then cut it with that scalpel and the cutting mat. Completely up to you. So there we go, we have that lovely stamp. How crisp and clean that stamp is, just so pretty. Okay, so that's going to sit just there. I can probably go ahead and stick that on actually, and then I'm going to show you the last finishing touch of adding some pen to that. So again, I'm using that beloved foam tape. I just find it really easy, guys. It's just so super easy. I love the raised effect. Less mess with the glue. There we go, so we've got that card. I'm just going to make sure that's in the centre. Okay. The last little bit I did is I literally just, I'm just going to measure those out. I took the excess strips from when I cut the red cardstock for the backing of the card, and I'm just going to use those as little accents on the end. So I'm just going to measure those up. So we're using every little bit of that card, we're not letting any of it really go to waste. Okay, and then I'm just going to glue these in, so I'm just sliding those slightly underneath, just to give it a little bit of a framed effect. Just careful with your glue. Again, just dry clear. I'll just use my tweezers just to move that about a bit. Clean up any glue. There we go. Okay, and the last little bit, I just added some red to the stamp, actually, like in between the letters where it was stamped out. So to do this, I just took some of our Sizzix peanut markers, and I just very carefully coloured in those areas. So just be really gentle with this, just take your time. There's like certain parts of this card that take no effort and you can be quite rough with, but then there's just those little elements like the glue and the glitter in this section that really all tie it together and give it that professional feel. And if you're just patient with it, it just looks amazing. Almost there, so I'm just going in between all those areas and just tying in all the colours. There we go. Okay, and there you have it, guys. That is a full Christmas card from start to finish. Probably took us about 10 minutes, and I think anybody will be thrilled to receive that around Christmas time. And you could make loads of them, like I said, with that Bigz Die. Cut them all out at once, and you could make a good chunk of cards just from one sitting. So yeah, if you are interested in the die or the stamps or the glitter or the sequins or any other Christmas themed stamps, make sure to check out the website at the moment and up until the end of the month. It's only a few days that this is available, but if you did want to get some stuff in for Christmas, I know it's a little soon, but I mean, it's going to come round quicker than we expect it always does. So make sure to check that out and get those deals in while they're there, because they are 50% off and it is a fantastic saving. And Christmas dies never go out of season really, because you're always going to keep using them year after year after year, so they're going to be a really long-standing thing in your crafting collection. So yeah, I hope you loved that lovely Christmas card today, guys. Make sure to, like I said, check out the website and stay safe, keep crafting, and I'll see